Do you feel like siphoning all the gas from every car, van, truck, and gas station in your neighborhood and setting your math textbook on fire? Wonderful. We can help you avoid 25 to life in prison by watching this video by Fort Bend Tutoring and Mr. Whitt.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Whitt with Fort Bend Tutoring FBT, and today's tutorial is going to be about circles and converting general form to standard form. That's right, the general form of a circle to the standard form of a circle. So let's begin by first of all discussing what the general form of a circle is, and what you see before you is just that. So basically the equation that you see before you is the general form of a conic section, all right? And anytime the A and the B value equal to one another, but they do not equal to 0, and C equals to 0, then you're dealing with a circle. Yeah, so you won't have this term right here, that's CXY. It'll be gone because C equals to 0, but your A value and your B value will be the same. That's how you know that you're dealing with a circle. So when you're given this form in the problem, oftentimes you'll need to use the center radius or the standard form of a circle in order to graph it or give information in the problem. So here's the standard or center radius form of a circle. It's right here. That's right, in bold. It's this x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals to r squared, where hk is the x and y values of the center of your circle, and r stands for the radius of the circle. So this is the center radius form of a circle, aka the standard form. See, it all depends on which textbook you have as to what they actually call this, but the standard form of a circle and the center radius form of a circle is the same thing. Okay, and that's it right there. You'll see that a lot. All right, so let's go ahead and move on and look at some problems of how to convert general form into standard form. And here, yeah. This is our first problem, number 1. We have y squared equals negative x squared plus 64. If I want to change this into standard form, I probably first of all need to get it into general form. And how do I do that? I'll need to go ahead and add x squared to both sides of the equal sign, like so. And my x squares will cancel out on the right hand side. However, on the left, I'll end up with x squared plus y squared equals 64. There you have it. That's the general form. Now, when asked for the center radius form of this equation, that's it. Yeah, it's already in there. Now, you could show the x and the y value of your center, in other words, the h and the k values, by rewriting it like this. You could say that you have x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals to 64. And this also would show that you have the center radius form, which you would then be able to get your center. And of course, your radius squared is a 64 value. So that's it. So depending on what your teacher prefers and what you need, you can leave your answer as x squared plus y squared equals to 64, or you can show those h and k values by rewriting it as x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals to 64. I'm going to put a red box around this. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to box up my answers because that's what I do. All right, so there you have it, center radius form. Either will do. Why? Because this x minus 0 is just x, so that's x squared, and then the y minus 0 is just y, so that's y squared, which is what I have in the first box. So we're going to move on to the next problem. Thank you. All right, with problem number 2. This is the equation of a circle. How do I know that? Because the a value and the b value, aka the coefficients of the x squared term and the coefficient of the y squared term, they're both the same value. They're 1. Yeah, that's 1x squared and that's 1y squared. And since they both have the same value and they both don't equal to 0, then that means you're dealing with a circle. All right, so that being the case, let's change this general form into standard form. That's correct, center radius form. So what we'll be using is completing the square. And if you need a refresher on completing the square, then go ahead and check out this link right here. That'll show you a video on completing the square by Fort Bend Tutoring and me. So our first step here is going to be subtracting 9 to both sides of our equal sign. All right, So you want to get rid of all the constants that you may find on the left side of that equal sign there. And what I'll be doing next is I'll be bringing down the left side at the same time putting all my x terms together and all of my potential y terms together. Let me show you what I mean. I'll rewrite this as x squared plus 6x plus y squared equals, the 9's cancel out here, that'll be -5 on the right hand side. Oh, and you don't like that equal sign? Great, because neither do I. Let's change it. Let's fix this. Let's fix this equal sign. There you go. That's much better. That is way better. So now we're going to be completing the square. That's right. On our x terms right here. The y squared, there's really nothing you can do with that. This is already perfect in its current state, so you don't have to mess with that y squared. However, the x terms, yeah, we'll be completing the square by doing the following. We have x squared plus 6x blank plus y squared equals to -5 blank. Just like that, all right? And part of that completing the square process will involve you taking half of the middle term's coefficient. So taking half of 6, you'll end up with 3, right? Great. Then go ahead and square that 3, all right? So 3 squared is what value? Exactly, it's 9. And since I'm adding 9 to the left side of the equal sign, I definitely have to add 9 to the right side of the equal sign. Yeah, I gotta keep things balanced here, all right? So don't try to stop me. So then with my x squared plus 6x plus 9, I'm going to be factoring this, and calm down, all right? Calm down, because in order to factor this x squared plus 6x plus 9, you just take the variable in whatever half of the middle term's coefficient was. In other words, I'll take this value here, slap it into some parentheses right here along with that variable x, and we have our trinomial factored. It's x plus 3 squared plus y squared, which now equals to -5 plus 9, which is 4. And this is our center radius form right here. Here comes your red box. Oh yes, box up your answer. So here's my center radius form. It's the quantity of x plus 3 squared plus y squared equals to 4. If I had to find the center from this center radius form, it would be -3, 0. You always change the sign of those values inside the parentheses there. And since I don't have any values inside the parentheses of the y squared term, then that means that my k is 0. Oh, and you wanted to know about that radius? Yeah, that's the value of the radius squared. You need to take the square root of 4 in order to find out what the radius is, which is 2, by the way. All right, but remember, this video is about converting general form to standard form. If you want to find out more about how to find the center and the radius of the center radius form, then check out this video right here, okay? Yeah, that's going to be our video on the center radius form, aka the standard form of a circle. Hopefully you'll watch it, like it, and enjoy it, okay? There you have it. Well, that's problem number 2. Let's move on to our next problem. Our next problem is problem number 3. With problem number 3, we have x squared equals -y squared minus 10x. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is not in general form. No, it's not. So in order to put it in general form, what I want to do, what I'll need to do, is set this equal to 0. Yeah, I don't have any constants in here. There's variables just all throughout this equation. So I'll be adding y squared to both sides of the equal sign. Like so. And I'll be adding 10x to both sides as well. Yep. Just like this. So to write this equation in its general form, I'm going to rewrite it as x squared plus y squared plus 10x equals 0. And we know it equals 0 because our y's are additive inverses. They're opposites. They'll cancel out, as well as the 10x's right here. So this is the general form of the equation. I know it's a circle because my a and my b values are equal to one another and they don't equal to 0. So it's a circle. So that being the case, let's go ahead and complete the square to put this into center radius form. And notice I have multiple x terms, right? I have an x squared term right here and I also have a 10x term. Well, we want to put all the x's together. All right, let's not keep them separated any longer. Let's go ahead and rewrite this as x squared plus 10x. Then we'll bring down our y squared term and that equals to 0. It does. And we'll be completing the square on our x terms right here. All right, so let's do just that. I'm gonna go ahead and rewrite this with a blank after that 10x. So this is gonna be x squared plus 10x blank plus y squared equals 0 blank. All right, so there you go. Completing the square on our x's, we'll be taking half of 10, all right, which is 5, by the way, and then squaring that value. So 5 squared is what? Exactly, it's 25. You guys are so sharp. And since I'm adding 25 to the left side of the equal sign, I have to add 25 to the right side of the equal sign. We must keep this equation balanced. That's what the equal sign stands for. Everything on the left side of the equal sign has to equal to everything on the right side. So if you're going to add 25 to the left side of the equal sign, you gotta add 25 to the right side of the equal sign. Just saying. All right. So that being the case, let's go ahead and factor this newly found perfect square trinomial, that x squared plus 10x plus 25. So factoring it, we'll end up with x plus 5 squared plus y squared equals 25. All right, that's it. From here, ladies and gentlemen, you have everything you need. This is the center radius form of our equation for problem number 3. We're going to red box it. Done and done. Just like that. All right, so that completes problem number 3, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on to problem number 4. All right, in problem number 4, we have x squared plus 4x plus y squared plus 6y equals 0. I already have my x terms grouped together for me, all right? I already have my y terms grouped together, but this is not center radius form yet until we complete the square, right? So that means I'll be rewriting this as x squared plus 4x blank plus y squared plus 6y blank equals blank blank. There you go. I'm going to have 2 blanks there on the right side. Just saying. That being the case, we're going to take half of the middle term's coefficient and then square it. So taking half of 4, that gives us 2, and then 2 squared is 4. All right, so if I'm adding 4 here, I'll need to add a positive 4 on the right side of the equal sign. I'll be completing the square on my y terms, so I'll be taking half of 6, which is 3, by the way. And then what's the result of 3 squared? Exactly. It's 9. So I'm going to be adding 9 right here and right here. All right, just like that. And then, of course, we want to factor these perfect square trinomials that we just created. All right, so in order to factor this x squared plus 4x plus 4, just keep in mind, you're always going to have your variable and whatever half of the middle term's coefficient was. So that means that I'll be placing positive 2 inside of this first set of parentheses. And when it comes down to factoring those y's there, that y squared plus 6y plus 9, I'm going to end up placing a 3 inside the parentheses. Yeah. Next, I'll be adding the right side of the equal sign. That 4 plus 9, yeah, that equals to 13. So that's going to be the right side of the equation, and we have the center radius form. This is the answer. It's problem number 4. Complete it. Oh, of course you got to have that red box though, right? So, red boxing it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to gift wrap your answers. There you go. It's better than an apple. Way better than an apple. Just gift wrap your answers for your teacher and they will love you. I'm just saying, just try it. Okay, just try it, all right? Don't knock it until you try it. So anyway, that's problem number 4. And we're moving on to problem number 5 now. For problem number 5. We have x squared minus 10x plus y squared minus 8y equals negative 32. And this is close to the general form of our conic equation. And I'm noticing that this is going to be a circle. How do I know it's going to be a circle? Once again, the coefficients of the x squared term and the y squared term tell me that. Because those values are the exact same and they are not equal to 0, that tells me that this equation must be a circle. Every time. Just saying. So that being the case, we're going to do the following. We're going to go ahead and complete the square on our x terms and our y terms, all right? But let me go ahead and get my blanks in there because I like to put my blanks in my problem. So I'll rewrite this as x squared minus 10x blank plus y squared minus 8y blank equals negative 32 blank blank. Just like that. In order to complete the square on our x's and y's, we'll be taking half of the middle term's coefficient. So I'm going to take half of negative 10. That's right. So 1/2 of negative 10 gives me negative 5. And it's this negative 5 that I'll be squaring. Because negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. We'll be adding 25 to both sides of the equal sign. All right, just like that. Then we'll be completing the square on the y's. So our middle term's coefficient on the y's is negative 8. You want to take half of that. All right, so half of negative 8 is negative 4. Go ahead and square that value. Negative 4 times negative 4, in other words, negative 4 squared, is 16. So add 16 to both sides of the equal sign, like so. All right, and now you finished completing the square. However, we want to factor that, right? So factoring this x squared minus 10x plus 25, that factoring process involves us placing our variable x and then whatever half of the middle term's coefficient was. Our middle coefficient is negative 10, but half of that was negative 5. That will go inside the parentheses, ladies and gentlemen. Just like that. Then, factoring this y squared minus 8y plus 16, you'll end up with y minus 4 squared. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Just like that. From here, you'll do the following. Go ahead and combine that negative 32, 25, and 16 together. What will you get? Oh, wait. Still waiting. Very good, ladies and gentlemen. Very good. You end up with 9. Yeah. You end up with 9. How did I get that? Oh, well, here you go. This was negative 32 plus 25, which is negative 7. And then negative 7 plus 16 is 9. There you go. Oh, by the way, what you're looking at right now, this quantity of x minus 5 squared plus the quantity of y minus 4 squared equals 9. Yeah, that's the center radius form of our original equation. We're done. But of course, you're not done until you red box it. There you go. Box up your answers, ladies and gentlemen. Just saying, just makes life so much simpler. There you go. That's the center radius form of problem number 5. And done. We're now on to the next problem. Moving on to problem number 6. We have x squared plus 2x plus y squared minus 10y equals 55. We're going to complete the square to put this into center radius form. Are you ready? Are you ready? Good. Let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and put my blanks in this equation. So I have x squared plus 2x blank plus y squared. Oh, that's an ugly 2, so let's fix it. There you go, a much better 2. Minus 10y blank equals 55 blank blank. Yeah, just like that. Now, let's go ahead and complete the square. So that process, once again, is taking half of the middle term's coefficient. So in this case, I'm taking half of positive 2. Well, half of 2 is 1, right? And then you want to square that value. So 1 squared is just 1. That means I'll be adding 1 to the right side of the equal sign as well. Like so. Next, we'll be taking half of negative 10, which is our y term's middle coefficient. So taking half of that, you'll have 1/2 times negative 10, which is negative 5, thank you. And then squaring negative 5, you get what? What? Yes. Yes, you get 25. 25. Go ahead and add that to both sides of the equal sign. All right? Just do that. Then, you want to factor this. Okay? So in factoring that x squared plus 2x plus 1, you'll end up with what? Very good, ladies and gentlemen. You're on fire. You're on fire. You're going to have your variable x and whatever half of the middle term's coefficient was, which is the 1. That goes inside of your parentheses. When it comes to your y's, you'll have y and then what number? Exactly. The negative 5. It's half of your middle term's coefficient. So it's y minus 5 inside the second set of parentheses. And then on the right side, yeah, we'll be adding all of this together here. So let's do just that. We know that 55 plus 1 is 56, right? And then 56 plus 25, oh yeah, that's 81. There you go. There you go, that's it. That's it. If they wanted to know the center of this equation right here, yeah, it would be negative 1, 5 with a radius of what? Exactly. The radius would be 9. You're so smart. You are super smart. And I like you. Okay? Yeah, I like you. You and I are now friends. Just saying. Just saying. That was problem number 6, ladies and gentlemen. I had a red box, and we're moving on to problem number 7 now. I have 2 more problems. All right. Next up, we have problem number 7. With problem number 7, we have x squared plus 14x plus y squared minus 12y equals -4. We want to put this equation into standard form, aka center radius form. So in doing that, we'll do the following. We'll go ahead and put our blanks in the equation. Thank you. Let's just put the blanks in the equation. You know I like doing that. So I have x squared plus 14x blank plus y squared minus 12y blank equals -4 blank blank. Thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Now, completing the square involves us taking half of the x's middle term's coefficient, right? So in other words, I need to take half of 14, all right? Just take half of 14. What's half of 14? Stop playing. Stop playing. You know the answer. You know the answer. So you'll end up squaring 7. And what is that value? Thank you. It's 49. You see? I don't even know why you're still watching, because you obviously know this already. You obviously know this already, so why are you still watching? Then you end up completing the square on your y terms. So my middle term's coefficient for the y's is -12, right? So let's go ahead and take half of -12. So taking half of -12 gives you what value? What's 1/2 times -12? Thank you. Thank you. You're sharp. And we're going to square that value, right? So we took half of -12, which is -6, and then -6 squared is what number? Good. It's 36. You are on fire. Yes, you are. Now we want to factor our newly found perfect square trinomials. So factoring x squared plus 14x plus 49, that'll give us x plus 7 squared. Factoring y squared minus 12y plus 36, what does that give us? What does that give us? Very good. It gives you y minus 6 squared. Yeah. And on the right side here, you want to go ahead and add those together. So -4 plus 49, that gives you 45, right? And then 45 plus 36, yeah, that's 81. It is 81. Very good. Very good. That's it. There's your answer. Just like that. So let's go ahead and box it up, all right? Let's go ahead and gift wrap our answer. There you go. There you go. It just makes it easy to find. Just saying. You know, why do all this work and not identify the actual answer? I mean, why do that? Why have to go back and search all over the page for your answer when you could just box it up? Just be nice. Okay, let's just be nice about things. So anyway, that's problem number 7. And we're moving on to number 8. Number 8 is the following. No, not the following as in the TV show, because I really do like that TV show, by the way. The following is just awesome. Kevin Bacon, seriously, love the show. All right, so you end up with x squared plus y squared plus 4x minus 8y plus 20 equals 16/25. Got a fraction in there for you. Yeah, I was saving the best for last. We know that our a and our b values, those coefficients on the x squared and y squared terms, they're the same value. It's 1. Yeah, so it's a circle. Let's go ahead and just solve this. Now, keep in mind, we'll want to get rid of that 20 right there. Yeah, it's not doing anything good here. So let's go ahead and subtract 20 to both sides, please. Thank you. Let's go ahead and just do that real quick. Just go ahead and do that. Thank you. So we went ahead and subtracted 20 to both sides. We're going to rewrite this as x squared plus 4x plus y squared minus 8y equals 16/25 minus 20. Now, for now, I think I'm going to leave that just the way it is. Yeah, I know I can combine the 16/25 and the -20, but I really don't want to. That's the first thing. And then secondly, I really don't want to. And then thirdly, I don't know what numbers I'm going to add over here. And if I make everything into a fraction, it just may make things worse. And I'm really hoping that I don't have to deal with that right now. So we're just going to keep it the way it is right now, okay? Great. So let's go ahead and put my blanks in their proper place. Let's do that. So I'm rewriting this as x squared plus 4x blank plus y squared minus 8y blank equals 16/25 minus 20 blank blank. Just like that. And then we'll be completing the square. And you already know we need to take half of our middle term's coefficient, right? So taking half of 4, that gives us 2. And then 2 squared is what? That's right, it's 4. So I'm adding 4 here and here. Here. Yeah. Then I'll be completing the square on our y squared minus 8y here. The middle coefficient is negative 8. Yeah, it's negative 8. So go ahead and take half of that. Take half of negative 8, please. There you go. It's negative 4. And go ahead and square the negative 4. Oh, that negative 4 is ugly. Oh, we're gonna have to fix that. Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry. We just had to fix the negative 4 was just atrocious. This is much better. This is much better, don't you agree? So then you have the negative 4 squared. What's negative 4 squared? What's negative 4 times negative 4? Exactly. It's 16. So we're adding 16 here, and we're adding 16 here, like so. So here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Factoring your x squared plus 4x plus 4, you'll end up with the following. You'll have x plus 2 squared. Yeah. That's the factorization of that perfect square trinomial, which, by the way, if you need help factoring perfect square trinomials, just check out this video right here. There you go. I'm here to help you. Fort Bend Tutoring is here to help you. FBT, where you want to be. Just saying. I had to rhyme. So then we want to factor the y squared minus 8y plus 16. And what is that going to be? Exactly. It's going to be y minus 4 squared. Things you already know. Now let's check this out. If I look at just the regular integers here on the right side, we already know that we don't like and hate the fraction. We know that already, right? But just look at the integers here. Let's walk through this. Negative 20 plus 4, that's negative 16. It's negative 16. Then negative 16 plus 16. Oh, it's 0. In other words, this just cancels everything out over here. I'm just left with the 16/25. Now, what if I had went through all the drama of combining that stuff at the beginning? I think I would have to just go out and yeah, that's right. Exactly what you were thinking. Eat a piece of cheesecake. That's exactly what I was thinking. Thank you. So yeah, so this is the answer. There you have it. This is the center radius form for problem number 8. This is the standard form of our original equation. I'm going to put a red box around it. I am red boxing this. I am so proud of our work together today. You did so well. I mean, what you did, the things that you did on problem number 4, amazing. And I was there when you were second guessing yourself on the problem number 6, but you came back strong. Oh, and the way you just finished it, you finished it like a boss. You are that boss. All right, so anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the circles video, converting general form to standard form. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped. And as always, please rate, subscribe, and if you're able, please donate, because that helps us, FBT, bring you more free math tutorials. Peace.
Thanks for watching. We feel great knowing that you got some help and you're safe and sound. Now, if you'd be so kind as to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Fort Bend Tutoring, and like us on Facebook, we'd be much obliged.